This is a video review of the film. The film contains actors over 18 years of age. The video is made for entertainment purposes. The author of the video does not intend to offend anyone. Hello everyone. Today I will tell you about the movie Subservience. A man bought himself an android woman so that she would carry out all his orders. Nick and Maggie live happily in marriage, but one evening, Maggie felt a pain in her chest. She is taken to the hospital. Nick has a lot of problems. He has to work, raise a daughter and son, and do housework. He decides that he can't cope with everything alone and goes to the store to buy himself an android. The girl is very interested in looking at androids, and she gets lost. The lost girl is found by an android. The girl persuades her father to buy her and bring her home. The next day, a beautiful android arrives at Nick's house and gets a new name, Alice. Nick and his daughter leave for the whole day. Alice begins to explore her new home and her owner. She tidies up the house and cooks lasagna, but the girl immediately realizes that her mother cooks better than Alice. At night, Isla climbs onto a chair to get cookies, but she falls. Alice manages to catch the girl. Alice gets a little damaged by the glass and treats the wound. Nick notices her and is surprised at how beautiful she is. He goes into the room and gives Alice his wife's clothes. He offers to help Alice, but her wound has already healed. The next day, Nick and his family come to the hospital to visit Maggie. Maggie meets Alice and asks her husband why he bought a beautiful robot girl instead of a regular butler. Nick says that his daughter chose her. Maggie is a little jealous because she understands that she will not be able to return home for a long time. She is facing a heart transplant operation. Nick promises his wife that he is not interested in other women and is already waiting for the day when Maggie returns home to have a night marathon. Nick arrives at work. He supervises builders at the construction of a new building. His boss says that next week all the workers will be fired, and Nick will have to monitor how the androids work. Nick is angry and does not want to betray his friends. Nick comes home and drinks a lot of beer. Alice notices that her master is upset. She consoles him and says that androids are created to fulfill all the wishes of their masters.
And I have no desires outside of fulfilling yours.
In the evening, Nick decides to watch his favorite movie. Alice knows everything about this movie, so she cannot appreciate it. Nick asks Alice to erase everything related to this movie from her memory. He wants her to enjoy watching it and understand the plot of this movie. Alice warns that deleting the memory can lead to malfunctions, but Nick still orders her to do it. Alice watches the movie all night and she understands that she must do whatever it takes to make Nick happy.
So that your happiness was the only thing that she wanted in the world. She did a bad thing to make certain of it.
Maggie suddenly calls and tells Nick the good news. They found a donor heart for her and will soon have an operation. In the morning, Nick comes with the children to Maggie. The girl wants her mother to come home as soon as possible. After everyone leaves, Maggie asks Alice to stay. She asks her to take care of her husband and children if the operation fails. A few hours later, the doctor announces that the heart transplant operation has been canceled. Maggie is upset because now she has to wait again for a new donor heart. Nick tries to console her, but he too understands that they have little time left. Nick returns home and drinks a bottle of alcohol. Alice calms him down and offers to help.
Suffering is not productive, Nick.
Nick wants to do it, but stops. A few days later, Nick returns home and notices that all the photos of his wife are gone. Alice removed the photos because the girl was sad looking at them. Nick asks Alice to return everything to the way it was. In the evening, he goes to a bar with his friends. They are unhappy that they were fired. Monty hates androids because they took his job. At night, they sneaked into the construction site, and Monty kills one android. Nick tries to stop him, but he fails. Nick returns home and meets Alice. She put on his wife's clothes. Nick does not like this and asks her to take off her clothes immediately.
Is that better?
Nick cannot resist such a beautiful woman. In the morning, he feels guilty and explains to Alice that he can't do this anymore. Alice does not understand why Nick is angry. Nick goes to work and sees the police. The boss tells him that there was a break-in at night. He asks Nick to name the people who did it. Nick doesn't want to set up his friend and doesn't say anything. At this time, the doctors perform an unexpected heart transplant on Maggie. Nick arrives at the hospital and meets his wife. A few days later, Maggie returns home. The whole family is very happy that their life has started to improve. But Alice doesn't like the fact that Maggie has returned home. She doesn't let Maggie take care of the baby and takes him to the entertainment center. There, she scolds a strange boy for misbehaving.
Be a good boy. Shut up and go on the slide.
After the reboot, Alice erased several security protocols from her system. Now she can decide for herself what she needs to do to make her owner happy. In the evening, Alice plays with the girl, but Maggie thinks that her daughter is in danger. She falls down the stairs and Alice carries her to her room. Alice reads a fairy tale for the girl and then tells Nick what happened. The next day, Nick arranges a romantic evening for his wife. Alice watches them and feels jealous. At night, Alice comes into the bedroom and interrupts Nick and Maggie. She tells them that the girl had a nightmare. At night, Nick's friend comes to see him. Monty says that he was called to the police, and he is sure that Nick betrayed him. They start a fight, but Alice stops Monty. Nick scolds Alice for behaving aggressively. The android says that she was just defending her owner. She says that Maggie will soon die. Alice will become Nick's new wife. He says that this will never happen. At night, Alice comes to Monty's house and kills him, so that he does not tell the police the truth. In the morning, Nick learns that Monty was killed. Meanwhile, Alice goes into the bathroom and tells Nick that she helped him cheer him up several times. She offers to help again because Maggie can't do it herself. Maggie is shocked by her words.
If I said something to offend you...
Get the f*** out of my house!
A little later, Nick comes home and Maggie makes a scene. She asks him why he cheated on her. Nick tries to justify himself and says that he did it only once. Meanwhile, Alice takes the baby and puts him in the bathroom. The android wants to kill him so that Nick has fewer problems. Nick tries to knock down the door, but he can't. Maggie climbs inside through the window and tries to save her son. Alice begins to strangle her. Nick knocks down the door and saves his wife. Alice continues to attack. Maggie turns on the lamp and Alice gets a strong electric shock. The ambulance takes the children and Nick wants to go to the hospital with her, but Maggie can't forgive him. The android is taken for repairs. Alice manages to copy her mind and upload it to the network. She uploads herself to a new body and kills the repairmen. Alice uses 2 bodies at once. She comes to the bar and tells Nick that she wants to help him. She confesses that she killed Monty, and now she will kill his family. Nick begs Alice to stop. He tries to convince her that she can be more human.
You can experience life. You can experience death.
Nick runs to the hospital to save his family. Alice turned off the power to the entire building and went out to look for Maggie and her children. Maggie tries to hide, but Alice quickly finds them.
Now!
Alice catches up with Maggie again and is going to kill her, but Nick shows up in time and saves his wife. Nick loses consciousness and Maggie tries to help him. She thinks Nick is dead. Alice is still alive and attacks Maggie, but Nick saves his wife again. Alice is destroyed. One day later, Maggie comes to Nick's room and forgives him. She wants him to come home. Nick promises to never betray her again. The android's body is sent for diagnostics. The company must figure out why the program crashed. Meanwhile, Alice has prepared a new body for herself. And this is where the film ends. Write your opinion about this in the comments. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell to be the first to watch new videos.